right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be getting into the top prop bets today on both PrizePicks and Underdog. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I do want to start out with some PGA props because right now we are getting a pretty big edge, at least with one of the props, but really across the board, we are getting some pretty darn good edges. So let's go ahead and pull up the 9-to-5 golf sheet here. And what I'm going to call out here is this first one, Colin Morikawa, okay, for his greens and regulation. First and foremost, both sites seem to be overvaluing the greens and regulation prop. Typically speaking, this is a course in which really only about 10 greens in regulation are hit. It's about 56% of the greens are hit in regulation. So already it seems like both sites are a little bit too high. Okay, so to me, this screams a very good prop bet on Underdog. But at the same time, maybe the course is playing a little bit easier thus far this week. And from what I have seen, it's not. But at the same time, we are clearly getting a good middling opportunity with a lot of these greens and regulations props. I could pull in Tony Finau into that mix, Xander Schauffele into that mix, and then Scotty Scheffler into that mix as well. Now, Scotty Scheffler is hitting an insane amount of greens and regulation. Actually, so is Xander Schauffele as well. Like, both those two are two players that just pepper green. So yeah, probably better prop bets for them to bet the over greens and regulation on PrizePicks for those two, because they are just two players that just, I mean, you can see by the player average, both pepper the greens a ton. Okay. But at the same time, very good middling opportunity there. So you could bet the under greens and regulation on Underdog and then bet the over on PrizePicks. Again, specifically for greens and regulation, I do think that that's a good bet on Underdog. But to my point, like Xander and Scotty are two players that historically just pepper green. So I don't know if you guys want to do that. And then another one, we got fairways hit. This is another one where the fairways are extremely difficult to hit on average here. Only about 7.95 per round are hit. So already you're seeing that Underdog still too high. So to me, I'm perfectly fine firing off these first three on Underdog for the unders. Like, to me, that seems like a very good bet. Let's also go ahead and flip this around as well. And what we're going to see is, well, Adam Scott is one of the best golf picks this week in terms of value, but PrizePicks and Underdog know that. Okay, so they are actually bumping his strokes props down a little bit more. And I would say Underdog is probably overvaluing how much hype he's getting, because this probably should be at 69. It really should be. It should be in the middle. Okay. The event average is about 71. Okay. But he is one of the better projected golf plays. Again, it seems like Underdog and PrizePicks are thinking this tournament's going to play a little bit easier. And I'm actually curious here. Let's see. Adam Scott. So DraftKings Sportsbook has been doing these as well, these round props. I wouldn't say they're good, but I was just kind of curious here. So they also seem to be probably, I don't want to say, they're probably saying it's going to play a little bit easier is what I'm seeing here, but really not too bad. Like, for example, Victor Hovland is one of the best golf plays this week. Okay. He's highly likely to get over 68.5. Okay. According to DraftKings Sportsbook, 4 strokes. So Adam Scott, who's not as good of a golfer, like, yeah, bet the over there on Underdog. That seems like a very good prop that we are getting there. Same thing with like Hideki, where like he's another one where, yeah, Brian Harman's going against Lee Hodges and Hideki, but he's projected at 69.5, but that is projected for the over as well. So you guys are seeing we are getting some pretty big edges, but I do think that that is going to be on Underdog. To me, that's where the edge is at. And I do just want to give you guys a bet of the day here for the PGA props. Again, specifically going to be on Underdog here, and then I'll give you guys one on PrizePicks as well. So on Underdog, this is what it's going to be, and I do think that we are getting a better edge here on Underdog. Again, there should never be a one stroke prop line difference, or even birdie or better, or fairways hit, or any of that greens regulation. Like, sure, we bet on the course for the most part, and right now what we're saying is that the course is going to play more difficult. Okay, the rough might be a little bit thicker and whatnot, which is going to play a little bit more difficult. It typically plays like a harder track, like a major. So I do think that we are getting better prop bets than Underdog, but at the same time, this does feel like a pretty good middling opportunity that we are getting. Now, my biggest issue between Underdog and PrizePicks is that for PrizePicks here, I wanted to add in Scotty Scheffler to get over 12.5 greens in regulation, because I do think that is a good prop bet on PrizePicks. They adjusted the payout so much so, like, by adding in Scotty here, the payout was actually much worse, which doesn't make any sense. So there is that kind of weird nuance. And maybe you just want to run out these three, so the payout's going to be a little bit better because it's 3 different props. You could do that as well. That's kind of the nice thing about the PGA props that we are getting right now.